Hey, check it out. I woke up this morning. It was a little bit different, man. Today is a little bit different, right? And so I woke up this morning. I normally get up at 3 o'clock. Today I was up at 2:30. Went out, grabbed a glass of water, walked downstairs, walked through my beautiful home that I am incredibly grateful for. I walked downstairs, tried to be quiet because my cousin, Jerry Augustine, came up to help us, drove up from Nashville, Tennessee. So I didn't want to wake him up. So I'm like tiptoeing through the basement. Now, if it's my kids down there, I don't care. If they wake up, they wake up. But I didn't want to wake up my cousin. And so I went into the room like I always do to sit down, do my gratitude, do my goals. And I opened up my hashtag Rise and Grind planner, which is my favorite. And when I open it up, there's always a quote submitted at the top by an actual Rise and Grind member. And so I opened it up this morning, and the quote at the top said this. It said, "We are drowning in information while starving for wisdom." And this is a quote that was submitted by Amanda Mills. Amanda Mills is actually a really good friend of me and my wife. Her husband, Isaiah, is a 6'11", 300-pound redhead dude. He's amazing. Amanda herself is just this beautiful human. And when I read that quote, I thought about how their life has been completely and utterly transformed in the last decade. The things they're doing down in Tennessee are phenomenal. And so it just gave me this whole idea, this whole thought of transformation, right? And what's possible for us as human beings when we really do tap into wisdom, not just information. That's my baby. That's my baby. She can speak up as loud as she wants. Mama, don't leave this room. But starving for wisdom, right? Not just information. It made me think a little bit of the state of the world right now, the state of the world that we live in this post-pandemic, mid-pandemic, whatever you want to call it, state. And what I've found is it's so incredibly difficult to separate truth from untruths in today's society. It's so incredibly difficult to discern information, to know what information is real, what information is not real. What do I believe? What do I believe, right? What should I be standing for? What should I be fighting for? And so it made me think this morning when it comes to this idea of wisdom, we all have information, but when it comes to wisdom, wisdom comes from truth. And truth only comes from one source. We're going to tap into that a little bit today on hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's dive in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday, November 5th, my daughter Oakland's birthday. Everybody say, happy birthday, Oakland! Yes! My daughter Oakland's birthday today. She's 3 years old, November 5th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be. Friday, November 5th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Today is also the 1,000th episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind. Can you believe that? 1,000 episodes of Hashtag Rise and Grind. Unbelievable. And it is also the final episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind. So I am coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky, where I am sitting on a huge stage surrounded by decadence, really high ceilings, massive screens, the largest screens in the state of Kentucky, by the way. Fancy lighting, which will be awesome later, I'm sure. And there's even a live audience, if you can believe it. I've got a live audience right here to join us. Incredible, right? People gathered together at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time-ish. 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time-ish, plus, give or take 15 minutes for technical difficulties, to celebrate this momentous occasion. Holy smokes, there are a lot of people on Facebook. My mom is here. You can see her. She's right over there. There she is. My grandmother is also here. You can see her right there, which is crazy. My cousin, Jerry, he's here right there. My entire team is here, which that's a big deal, folks. Just so y'all know. Another round of applause for my team. They're amazing. They're amazing. All right. But my entire team's here, right? We got Jessica, we got Alex, Brandon's over here on the video, Sarah McCord's over here, Tamara's over here, right? The whole team, everybody is here. Crystal Sicard, where's Crystal? She's back there, right? The entire team's here, and Alex doesn't get up before noon, so this is a big deal, okay? It's a really big deal. I rise and grind. Alex is like, I make the post later. You rise and grind now. But the entire team's here, which is crazy. And there are even many of the names that you know are like here in the room right now, right? Like Scott Simons. My man Scott Simons is here. You guys know him. Amelia Antonetti's here, right? Brian Hess is here. Round of applause for Amelia Antonetti. She's awesome. Brian Hess, Stephen Kuhn. The Twang Sisters. Anybody know the Twang Sisters? Twang Sisters are here this morning. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, everybody, man, you guys are amazing. So a lot of names that you know are here, which is cool. And there's even two young ladies. Actually, I just realized 4. You brought 4. You have 4, including you. You're a young lady, right? There's actually 4 young ladies in the crowd that mean the world to me. My daughter, Savannah, is here this morning. My daughter, Miss Meredith, is here this morning. My daughter, Caroline, the little baby. And my beautiful wife, Leslie Lundy. And this is seriously like the 3rd episode for her. So she's still new to this, okay? I'm like, honey, you watch my show? She's like, I watch you. I don't need the show. You're enough. What do I need the show for? It's really a surreal and monumental moment in my life. From homeless to center stage. From humble beginnings to a life of abundance. From invisible to seen. From 2D to 3D. From living a life with from living a godless existence to a God-filled experience. And to think that it all started in a closet. Or did it? Y'all know what we got to do. Let's dance. Come on, baby. Now, those of you in the live studio audience, y'all can turn it up a little bit if you want so you can hear it. All right? But hey, listen, for those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where we're going to do some dancing, okay? And I don't care where you are. As a matter of fact, live studio audience, stand up. I want to get everybody dancing, all right? Let's go. This is the part where we dance. Turn up the music, do something for some music. Somebody get some music so you can hear it, all right? So I want to see y'all dancing this morning, dancing, moving, shaking. How are we going to do it? You going to turn up your phones? Can you turn up the Rise and Grind song? There we go. I'm starting to hear it. There we go. There we go. Move around, move around, move around. Let's go. Get the body in motion. I don't care where you are in the world. It's time for you to get up and get moving. That'll work. There you go. Come on. That'll work. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Let's go. All right, everybody's dancing. So wherever you are in the world, I want to see you dancing. If you're on the other side of the planet, if you're in the streets, whatever it is that you're doing, all right, get up, get dancing. This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right, I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. Sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. So if you're on Instagram, share it out. If you're over on Facebook, share it out. If you're over on Clubhouse, hit the plus button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Let's get this rocking and rolling. All right? That's what's up. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, go ahead and say what's up, and I'll say what's up back. Good morning, Tom Popelka. How are you this morning? What's up, Janelle Griego? Is Darian singing live? He will be on Sunday. Yes, Lolita. Great to see you this morning. I see LaShonda Baker is up in here today. I also see Valerie Christine and Monica Anand. I see that over here we've got Tristan Smith in the building. The real Mariana is up here right now. How you doing, Coach Sarah? Great to see you. Social Steve is in the building. Linda Sims is in the building. Ed Hook Jr. is up in here today. And then, of course, over on Clubhouse, I see Tara right there at the top. That's what I'm talking about. Dr. Janie and Dr. Rowe. What's up, Brielle? Great to see you. How you doing, Justin? Dr. Sean, Liza Myers, Borges, Coach Isaac, Lolita, Jeff, David Hill, I see live and in person. Jeff the Entrepreneur, live and in person. John Paul Gidry and Rachel, live and in person. I love it. This is amazing. I am so grateful you are all here. Yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So listen, if you haven't done so already, you probably want to get your ticket to the Grove for God conference that we got going on in Lexington, Kentucky. I've been telling y'all all about it, and now we're getting close to time. You are almost out of time. We'll be kicking off here in about 3 hours. So if you haven't done so already, come join all of these amazing people. What do you guys think so far? Are we having fun? Are we having fun? Should they come? They should come, right? They should come. They should get a ticket. Yeah, that's right. Louder. That's right. Y'all should be here. What are y'all doing with your lives? Come on. Y'all should be here. We invite you to come grab a seat at the table with us. Let's go. You guys are incredible. So if you haven't done so already, get your ticket. Go to growforgod.com. All right, you can go virtual, you can go live, whichever way it is. Just come join us because this is an incredibly special weekend, and we definitely want you to be a part of it. You are loved, you have value, you have worth, There is greatness inside you. You are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? My friend, my friend, my friend. On August 28th, 1963, a guy by the name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the Civil Rights March on Washington, D.C. 250,000 people of all nationalities, backgrounds, belief systems, they all stood together and helped unite the world. My father, Glenn Lundy Sr., was 8 years old at the time. No, 10. He was born in 55. Yeah, he was 8 years old at the time. Thanks, Mom. I'm so glad you were here this morning. He was 8 years old at the time. My mother, who is much younger, she was 6 years old at the time. Now, fast forward 14 years later, I was born. A mixed kid with a black father and a white mother in a mixed up world. And though frowned upon by many, Martin Luther King's decision to march on Washington, Martin Luther King's decision to fight for what he believed in, that decision allowed my parents to step up and boldly bring me into this world. Some people think this show started in a closet. But did it really? Fast forward 11 years later, my parents, thankfully, are in the midst of an ugly divorce. My father was an ugly, ugly man at the time. His heart was hard. His heart was hard. He knew one way, and it was the way of a heavy hand. And I remember one night, Greenlaw Garden Apartments, apartment 28. I remember hearing a noise, hearing a scuffle, hearing a fight. And I remember looking out my window. And when I looked out the window, I saw my dad's car, which he wasn't supposed to be there. I saw my dad's car down out the window, and I could hear a ruckus. I could hear noise. I didn't really realize what was going on. I could hear my sister screaming. I could hear my mom. And so I ran downstairs to see what was going on. And there was my mom. And she was sitting with her back against the door. My dad was fighting to try to get in. My sister was on the other side of my mom, and my sister was saying, "Let him in, Mom. Let him in." And my dad had this smile on his face. he was trying to use this calm, soothed voice once he saw the kids. Tell your mom to let me in. Tell your mom to let me in. And here's my mom putting herself in between me and my sister and this wolf with a killer smile. My mom made a decision to fight for what she believed in, to step in and boldly sacrifice herself to protect me in this world. And some of us think this show started in a closet, but did it really? Fast forward. And my dad passed away. And I went back for his funeral. And when I went back for the funeral, right after the funeral, the next morning, I woke up to a bunch of police officers in my mom's house. And they were there for me. I shared the same name as my dad, and when my dad passed away, they ran the system and saw that I had a warrant out for my arrest. They were kind enough to let me watch my father get buried, but they weren't going to let me out of town. So they arrested me right there in my mom's living room, and I remember the look on her face. And as I got to that jail cell, it was rough, man. It was rough dealing with the loss of my father unexpectedly, 52 years old. He was young, he was healthy. He had just started to turn a corner. His heart wasn't so hard anymore. And so it was a rough situation. But while I was in there, my Aunt Robin was calling me to make sure that I was encouraged and that I stayed in the Word. My mom was doing everything in her power with my stepdad, Everett, to get me out and to get me moving, to protect my job, to protect my livelihood back home. They fought for me, man. Even when I was in a jail cell, when most people would have judged, they fought for me. My grandma once, who's sitting over here, she's a firecracker, I'll tell you. That woman right there is something special. And I remember when I was going through a season of my life that I was worthless, man, to be honest. And my grandma was kind enough to let me stay in her house. I didn't really have anywhere else to go. And I remember sitting there with a girlfriend of mine, and as I was sitting there with my girlfriend, I couldn't understand why my girlfriend and I kept breaking up. And I asked my grandma, I said, Grandma, you were married to my grandfather for all these years. You had this incredible relationship. Why is it that, tell her, you need to tell her how good of a guy your grandson is. Let her know that she's crazy. She needs to be better for me. And my grandma, looked me straight in the eye and gave me one of the biggest gut punches of my life. She said, why would this woman want to be with you? What do you have to provide for this woman? You don't have a stable job. You're running the streets. You're going in and out of jail. You ain't got a place to live. You ain't got a car. How are you going to provide for this woman? My grandmother, in that moment, was fighting for me. She was willing to give me the gut punch that I needed. My grandma saw more in me. So she didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't half ASS it. She fought for what she believed in, what she knew was right. And sometimes we think that this show started in a closet. But did it really? The stories can go on and on. There was a guy named Adam Kramer who I met on a plane right after my dad passed away. And Adam Kramer introduced me to the church. He begged me to join him. He let me into his house. He shared the stories of his testimony. He fought for what he believed in, which was this guy named Jesus, and he wanted me to know him. He wanted me to know the truth, and I fought back. But ultimately, Adam won. Between him and Darian, they got me in the church, and they changed my life. And sometimes we think this show started in a closet. But did it? My wife, Leslie Lundy, my wife, where is she? Leslie Lundy. My wife and I used to drink and party like the best of them. Her and I went out one night, we were playing poker, we were drinking. And like we like to do all of the time back then is we love to fight. Any of y'all like that? You're like, we're going to drink, we're going to have fun, and we're going to fight. That's what we're going to do when we go out, right? That was our plan going in. You got your fighting clothes on today? Yeah, you got your fighting clothes on today? So we got in a fight. I got out of the car. I'm like, you crazy woman. She took off. It was snowing. I went to the house. A buddy of mine picked me up. And I said, we're going to go out. Screw her. Forget her. We're going out. And when we went to leave, there she was. She was like, you ain't going nowhere. She was blocking my car in. She took her car and blocked in my car. She said, we're going to fight. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fight. And we did. And at one point, she ran one way and I ran the other way. We got the car. I moved her car. I took my car. I got out of there. And it wasn't about 20 minutes later, I got a phone call. And the phone call was from local police. And they said there's been an accident. And Leslie is in really bad condition. Her vehicle's totaled. And she won't let us treat her unless you go to the hospital. I was like, what? Oh, crazy. Seriously. She's screaming your name. She won't let us do anything. You have to come to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and there was my wife. My now wife. She wasn't my wife at the time. But there she was, bloodied and mangled. She had broken her back in multiple places. Her car had hit a curb, turned around and gone backwards into an oncoming car. Her car had exploded. She was lucky to be alive. I saw her there. They treated her there. And she fought so hard for me to stay by her side, but I didn't. And for the next couple months, my now wife would call me. She would text me. She went through this whole surgery and recovery, and I wasn't there. And then one day on her birthday, she said, will you have dinner with me for my birthday? I said, yeah, I'll have dinner with you for your birthday. So we had dinner, and we shook hands that night. And I gave her a kiss on the cheek, I think. And somehow she got pregnant. This is a kid show. It's happened a couple times since then. And she said, I'm pregnant. And I still was running around. So for the first few months of her pregnancy, I had another girlfriend. And she was pregnant, living in low-income housing, on WIC, walking to a bus stop because she had blown up her car, walking to a bus stop so she could work double shifts at Logan's Roadhouse as a server. Little belly, cute little belly popped out. Meanwhile, I'm running around doing whatever I'm doing. And every week, every 3 days, every however long, I get a call, I get a message, get a picture. And finally, as we got closer to time to have my beautiful daughter, Savannah, my wife convinced me, literally fought for me and convinced me that she was the best thing to ever happen to me. My wife fought tooth and nail for us. She fought for what she believed in and completely transformed my life. And we think that this show started in a utility closet. Did it? The stories run long, and I want to make sure to attribute the last one quickly to my man Josh Cummins, the craziest man on the planet who chose to let a black man be in a position of power in a tiny little town of Paris, Kentucky, population 9,600, a place where within a month of me working there, one man pulled me behind the side of the building and said, Glenn, if you keep wearing that tie around here, we're probably going to hang you from it. But Josh Cummins believed in me, and he fought for me. He fought for what he believed in. And yet we think this show started in a utility closet. From a utility closet to uniting humans, to creating a safe place, to being a role model, husband and father, to putting my family first, to showing people Jesus, to working hard and creating opportunities, and to loving people relentlessly. The man that you see before you today in the movement that is #Rise and Grind was built and curated not by me, but by the decisions that those made before me. The decisions made by the people who have poured into me, who have loved me when I didn't deserve it, who loved me when I showed them no reason to do so. People that I burned, people that I lied to, people that I cheated, people that I stole from, people that I took advantage of. And so the lesson that I want to share with you this morning is I want you to always remember that the decisions you make today are ultimately going to make a massive impact in other people's lives. What are you fighting for? What do you believe in? We talk about rising every day with intention and purpose so you can evolve into the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. We do these things so we can make an impact in other people's lives, and we can do it together. As we come to the final episode of #Rise and Grind, I want you to understand something very clearly. It is time for me to fight for what I believe in. It is time for me to literally get out of this chair and to step into a seemingly godless world and fight for what I believe in. It is time for us together to step out and make a massive impact on this planet. You see, I am Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1. I am a father to 8. And I am now reporting for duty. It is time for us all to rise and grind. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you so very much. And I truly believe that you and I are children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you and I to become the absolute best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. Not an average version, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below, but the absolute best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. So that we can go out there and truly inject the truth, the wisdom that people need that only comes from one source. And that source is God. They are trying to remove God from humanity. And I won't stand for it. We will climb whatever mountains, we will step into whatever areas of media, technology, we will do whatever we have to do. But just know that I can't do it alone. I need each and every single one of you. In this room, in this room, in this room, in this room. I need each and every single one of you. Together we can make a difference. So my hope is that you will make a decision today to join me. This is the final episode of #Rise and Grind. But this is only the first step in us going out there and changing the world. Fair enough? Glenn Lundy, out. Thank you.